Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy, Salvation's Elite. We are back with another video, guys, and today we're going over hardpoint tips, learn from the pros. We're watching Scump and the Huntsman play some hardpoint on Ramazza, and we're going to go through some things to use for some learn from the pros videos and talk about how you play hardpoint in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. As you go through the video, if anything comes to mind of things that you want me to talk about or players that you want me to watch or teams that you want me to watch, drop them down below and we can do the next, the future episodes of Learn from the Pros about those teams or those players or those topics. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go. So we got a handful of clips today that we're going through. I think there's a handful of really good ones. I definitely was running out of time considering it's like this holiday weekend and everything. So it might be a little bit of a shorter video when it comes to Learn from the Pros series, but still really good tips. So without further ado, let's get into the first clip. So the first one is Scump's. We're going to talk about Scump's ability to be aware of the map, to understand the communication and get the callouts, and then use his gun skill to really create a play and dominate a hill for the Huntsman. So let's just first watch it and then we can talk about it. So let's roll the clip.
Front door.
Side door. Got me.
Simp dead back. Simp dead in the back.
One more front. Maniac. Maniac's
back with you. Made it front
down.
door.
Selling. I spawned mid.
Front now.
I'm gonna try to block front. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
block
pinch.
I lied. He's cutting off mid. Sandbags. Sam.
Watching sandbags.
Two front.
Trying to get the back.
Ran in dead.
Another one front.
Have your
Play for rugs early. Go side.
Yeah, someone go rugs already.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm gonna call
Side
up the
door
ladder.
More front, nice, good job.
Probably stupid as shit, but
More front.
Yep.
Ammo.
So first of all, you know, since this isn't Black Ops 4, they're not playing with streaks and everything else. That's why at the end of that clip, he actually jumps out there and challenges it, because I mean, in this game, how it's played right now, it's not as necessary to play your life and play for streaks and whatever, because they're not using streaks. They're using the specialist streaks. They don't have the Hellstorms, whatever. So that's why Scump kind of made the you could say the little unnecessary challenge right there at the end. But regardless, the clip as a whole was really good. So Scump, first of all, kind of gets those call-outs. There's like, you know, there might be two in hill, or there's one at the back, one at the front. And so he jumps in, gets one, is aware to turn around, get the second quickly, and then he's trying to use his tacticals and his lethals to give himself time to reload at the front, which is really smart, you know, solid play in hardpoint. It's you know, it's hardpoint 101 when it comes to gun skill and maneuvering inside of a hill like that, using the tacticals and the lethals to throw them out the door, throw them out the front of the hill, to buy yourself time to reload, or, you know, whatever it may be, reposition. And he does that there, is able to snag a two-piece and just really dominates the hill there for the Huntsman, gives them all that time they needed. For you as an individual, it just shows the importance of understanding that communication, pushing at the right times with your teammates, and how important it is to utilize the equipment to your advantage in Modern Warfare. Considering everyone gets a stun and a nade right now in the game, you can really use it to your advantage, and Scump kind of showed us exactly how it's used in a great way there. So the next two actually show the importance of good setups and how to set up effectively as a team, specifically on Ramazza, but it really can apply to basically any map. And so in the next clip, the Huntsmen are on the rotation for the construction hill, and so Scump runs into bottom construction, gets a pick, and then is trying to set up for this hill. And you can check out the communication here and the awareness that Scump has. And he asks like, yo, what's exposed here? Where can they get through? What do I need to be watching? Because he's sitting in the hill. So it is kind of hard to visualize exactly where they could potentially be coming from, especially with construction and how it's all set up and how difficult it can be to work through all of that sometimes. But pay attention to how the Huntsmen set up and really control the map. They set up for so much map control. And then Scump has the awareness to communicate what he potentially needs to be watching. So let's get into it. Let's watch it.
Top cat, one shot.
Try to get
Dead, one bottom dirt.
Come
Why'd
on
I
the
do that?
flat.
He's
Dirt dead.
Good job. Cover up on. You can push
out
uphill.
dirt.
Push it out.
I'm playing top mid.
I'm push out dirt.
I'll hold mid.
Holding
I'm
bottom
playing
mid.
little corner. I have dirt. I have all dirt.
Bottom on you.
Got the guy?
Good job.
I have the whole dirt cross.
I'll tell you where I
Next
spawn.
bottom mid. He's hookah.
Spawn back door.
High front door.
Maybe top roads.
Yeah, one.
Yeah, they can.
Pitching. Simp dead pitching.
Hey,
Not bad, Sam. Another one
Top
mid
dead,
flat.
one
Mid
top.
flat. Mid
Top
flat.
flat. Top
He's
flat.
zig.
He's like, yeah.
Just flood out like a.
You went dirt.
Watch out,
I
watch out top flat.
Dirt,
Watch out top
dirt,
Shit out of that then. Dead.
Bottom mid two.
Dirt dead.
Dirt dead.
Big
Nice.
one.
Dirt again. Simp dead.
Good job.
Pushing out of this. Yeah, I'm pushing out.
Playing out
Pushing
here.
out.
So yeah, you see how he makes use of his time sitting in the hill playing the objective, and then he's there to help trade that kill in the outer dirt, and then pushes out on the rotation after getting another kill. So he really effectively uses his time there, gets all that time in the hill, and then is able to push out 4 rotations into the next hill as well. So it was a really nice setup from the Huntsmen, and how they played that, as you guys can tell, that setup there was really solid as well. So they had one in the hill and bottom construction, then they had one out like back dirt, kind of watching that entrance from Cash. Then they had one second story construction to watch through mid and watch over bridge and watch into rugs. Then they probably had one sitting back on sandbags, and then one watching either flank or one watching mid. So they had a really, really nice setup there as a whole, and it worked out really, really well. Obviously, it gave them basically the whole time in the hill. And like, again, as a team, when you're setting up on those rotations, it's so, so important to not just collapse and all of you guys just sit up in this hill. So many amateur teams struggle with figuring out how to control the map in Hardpoint on rotation, where they might all collapse and kind of all push towards the hill at the same time on rotation, where it's actually more effective to control as much of the map as possible. And so like in this situation, you know, only 2 of the Huntsmen actually pushed into construction. The rest are pushed out of construction and trying to give them leeway in map control. So the importance of map control is, like, let's say the Hardpoint is in construction, but you're sitting either like top rugs, or you're sitting back on sandbags, or you're sitting back by the cache doors. If you get killed there, then you can spawn back up, back behind construction, and get right back into the hill. Whereas if you guys were all like in construction or like right around construction, if you die, it might be a lot easier for Faze to immediately spawn you out, and then you're going to get way less time on the hill. So that's why all pro teams are out there playing for the map control, controlling as much space on the map, and therefore controlling spawns and the hill as well. So that's just kind of the whole strategy behind that. And then of course you're just hearing the whole team's communication there and how effective it is in the callouts. And it allows for the players like Scump, who's not currently in the action, to have a good feel for where the rest of the teams are coming from. So that communication is so, so important, because even though Scump's not actually in the fighting action, he knows and has a good sense of where everyone still is coming from. And you can tell that he's really, really dialed in like just how he's sitting there, really working through that information in his head. And that's just why it worked really, really well for the Huntsman there. So the next clip is actually another example of how this plays out when it comes to map control and Hardpoint, and why it's so, so important in dominating a hill. So again, on the rotation, the Huntsmen push out towards the tunnel hill, and Scump is controlling ammo. And so you can see the setup that they have here is they have one in ammo, they have one probably back by ladder, they have one in barbershop or near barbershop somewhere, and then they have one in hill, and then another player there to work around and create more space and really help control that, maybe on half wall or something like that. Just watch how they dominate the setup, they communicate where their weak points are. Scump is very aggressive inside of ammo, try to get these picks early, and this is why pushing out is so important. So again, before we saw Scump being the one in the hill playing the objective. Now we have him playing the Slayer role, which is out, pushing out from the hill, getting kills way out from the hill, defending the hill by getting kills in the middle of the map. And that's always how Scump has thrived, in that Slayer position, doing this thing. And so without further ado, let's just watch the clip and see how Scump dominates this Slayer position.
Yeah, I'm staying push out. I'm staying push out.
I'm playing the back.
I spawn here.
Oh, so weak in window.
In time. Hurt in time.
Window,
big
that we traded.
One more mid alley, mid on me, I think.
Yeah, we spawned middle.
I got 2 ammo.
I spawned middle.
They're spawning fucking far, brother.
They're spawning construction. They're spawning construction.
I'm gonna help.
I don't see any front. I don't see any front.
A weak apple.
Front. Two front. I got one.
Got him. Another one front. Yeah, front.
I'm in bottom ammo. I'm just sitting.
You're missing Abezy.
There's two there. One's going down. Two
And
going
go
down.
front.
I got 2.
I'm getting your lane. You can push out.
I'm going right, guys.
Finessing this shit.
What if you want?
Press one shot. There's 2 front.
Dead. One more front.
We're pushing Abezy.
Dead. More front.
Tommy top ladder.
Don't worry about time. Don't worry about time.
What's front ammo?
Abezy got me front.
I'm construction right, guys.
So again, you can see how up until he gets completely joked by the M4 there, like, oh my, that is some hertz rate, refresh rate problems or something. I don't know how that happened, but before he got joked by the M4, Scump was just doing a great job controlling that side of the map, keeping Faze at bay. And you heard how he even said, like, yo, they are spawning so far out right now, and they're like, yeah, they're spawning probably back construction, even though the hill is in tunnels. So that's why pushing out there, having those effective Slayers to create that space and get that map control is so important in Hardpoint. And you can see how Scump was able to play the OBJ in the last hill, and then now play the Slayer position on this hill. And it's just working out really, really well for the Huntsmen, allowing them to crawl back into this game slowly but surely. So the final clip is just really, really important. This is how you trade kills and play together as a team, communicate these types of problems inside of the game. And you'll see how good Scump and Gunless play this at the back. So for those of you who are new around here, or maybe don't know the terms completely, trading kills is when you and a teammate are pushing together. One goes in first, then they die, and your teammate trades out the kill. So 1 for 1, a life for a life. You know, the balance is all things should be. So they're able to swap out those kills, and that's what trading is. And so it's one of the most important things in Hardpoint for teams to be really, really good at it and be effective with it, to be able to win and control maps and take control of spawns. And so that's what Gunless and Scump are trying to do here. They're pushing out to the Hardpoint, trying to control these back spawns, and they know there's one back here somewhere. So let's watch it, and then we can talk about it. Let's go.
Okay.
That's him
He's
right
dead
there.
on
Low construction. He's low
I'm
construction.
playing north south, guys.
I'm helping you with old. I'm helping you with old. Hang on.
Low construction dead.
Gonna be
I
here.
rope it over.
I'm half stun. I'm stun.
Can you grab time? Oh.
Yo, Pierce, follow me up. Follow me up.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Good job,
here.
man.
I'm in front with you guys.
Look back door.
Back door weak. He's still back door. Nice. Good shit. Good shit.
So you can see how Scump says, yo, Pierce, follow me up. Scump jumps out, gets a few hit markers, doesn't actually get the kill. Then in comes Gunless to trade out the kill and finish that process up for him, which helps them work to rotate and control spawns. So it's a really, really important kill, and you have to effectively trade out those kills to be a good team. That communication is really, really important. I think it's where a lot of newer players, maybe there's just misunderstandings with how that works with teammates. And the teammates just don't recognize that this is an opportunity to trade. They're not aware of the minimap, or they just fail to communicate it with their teammates. That's where that communication is so crucial. Just to say, yo, come with me, we're trading this out. Or come with me, you got my back. Or, yo, I got your back. Some way or another, you got to communicate that the trades are coming in here, and that you can rely on your teammate to clean up the mess. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, drop all of your ideas or thoughts or other teams that you want me to watch down below. It's just kind of annoying because like a lot of teams or a lot of players have their VODs on Twitch as subscriber only, so I have to subscribe to them if I want to watch them, which is why I've been doing Scumps, because I've been subbed to Scump for a while. Like Dallas Empire is all blocked for subscription only, so I'm down to do it. I'm down to subscribe to get some of these VODs to watch and record and go through if you guys want to. But drop whatever team you guys want me to watch down below, and I'll definitely be doing that in the next video. Any topics or ideas or thoughts you guys want me to cover, of course, I'll drop those down below as well. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, I'm your boy, Salvations League, and we will see you next time. I'm out.